We are going to go ahead and conclude our media availabilities for today with our race winner, Denny Hamlin. With this win, Denny, we have a few interesting stats. So with the 61st NASCAR Cup Series victory, you hold sole possession of 10th place on the all-time NASCAR Cup Series win list. And Denny is now also the 5th driver to win a Cup race in 20 different seasons, joining Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon.
Awesome.
Quite the accomplishment.
That is awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah. My name is not like others.
With that, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Please raise your hand, and we will get a mic over to you. We'll start here with Jonathan, and we'll go over to Zach.
Jonathan Field, Roundtable Sports. Denny, first of all, congratulations on the win. Second of all, I think about everything you have been through the last few months. For someone in your position, I mean, it could have been so easy for you to say, hey, I want to step aside, I'm done, this is a lot. What kept you going?
Well, I mean, ultimately, I'm still a competitor, right? And everyone's got to go through that process, the grieving process, and there were a lot of different things through the off season that was really, really tough. And I mean, I showed up at Bowman Gray. I ran the race, but still just up until a couple of weeks ago, just not fully locked in to what I need to do and got to do, which that's just natural. I mean, it's everyone has to go through stuff. So I think that for me, ultimately, I said it before, it's promised to Joe Gibbs and that family that I'd fulfill my obligations to them, and then the thrill of going out there and getting more wins. That to me is what drives me, and it makes me work as hard as I do at this. And so everyone goes through tragedies and stuff, but it doesn't change kind of who I am, and that's a competitor that loves to go out here, and this is my life's work.
I know in a process like that, there's certain days or certain moments that kind of, I guess, really touch your soul, really spark something within you. How much does today mean to you in that process?
Yeah, it's very gratifying because it's always the first race of every season that you can win is gratifying because I don't know what goes on in those 2 months. I'm no fool. I know that my reactions deteriorating. There's all kinds of things that are deteriorating. Father Time's undefeated, and so 2 months is or really 3 months is a long time where it's like okay, am I still at the level that I was last year, especially to end last year. And today confirmed that, nothing has changed, which is really good. It's a good sign that, we're still able to do it at a really, really high level. And so it's just gratifying to me that, I'm still at this age can get it done.
We'll go in the back to Zach, and then we'll come down here in the front to Jerry.
Zach Sturniolo, NASCAR.com. Denny, what has the start of this season meant to you? I mean, effectively, by Tyler winning the first 3 and you winning this, you've won 4 of the first 5.
4 out of 5. I got to talk to y'all. It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty good record. How do you process what the first month of this season has been, especially considering the challenges?
It's been really good. I mean, obviously things have gone really well for me personally and the team. To win early in the season is always a really good thing. To have my cars going out there and winning 3 straight to start the season, I mean, those are all big momentum builders. And so it certainly helps me. And if anything, Tyler's wins fueled me to shake the tree and like, okay, let's get ours now.
We'll come down here to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net. Earlier, I think on one of the interviews, you said you didn't go into the race expecting to win? It wasn't the
I
race.
did. I expected to win.
You did expect to
Yeah.
win. But you said overcoming the pit road penalty and things like that. Is that what you were talking about? Because
Yeah. So, typically if you, I mean, I can't think. I don't know when the last one was, but typically in next gen, when you speed on pit road, and if it's somewhere near the middle of the race, you're usually not seen again. But I just knew within about 15 laps after that first restart, when I was cutting through everyone, I was like, well, there's still time. I can't waste any time getting around guys. I can't get stuck behind anyone. And so we just kept marching. And when we got to the fifth, by the end of that second stage, I was like, okay, I'm back in it. And I'm close enough now to the front that surely those guys up front looked at the scoring pylon. He's like, they had to have thought, holy shit, he's back already. Like that, we got through the field quick. And so we knew we were going to be strong, but guys work on their cars. Everyone makes their stuff better. Chase came on at the end, similar to like he did in like 21 when we had a race. And but today was just our day. A speeding penalty. The car was just too fast for a speeding penalty to stop us.
We're going to go to Jenna, then Dominic, then Tom.
Denny, you had your own stuff to go through all off season. Chris also, he was in here before you. He said he had a really hard 3 days after Phoenix, but then he started to work through it. I imagine by the time you really got back to him, he was in a much better place. Did you ever have to talk to him, or did you have to pick him up at all?
I don't know. I don't want it to reflect badly on me or him. And he left me alone. I didn't have much interaction with Gail until like a couple weeks before the season. I mean, he just kind of let me be. And I don't know, I've somewhat always had that kind of relationship with my crew chiefs. It's been more professional than personal. But like, that doesn't reflect like how I think of him as a crew chief or a person. It's just, I've always just kind of kept, my work personnel and friendship personnel separate. And so I know that he felt horrible. Not that it was his fault. Maybe I could have done something. But I mean, that was just a moment that certainly he wishes he could have back, and I wish I could have back. But yeah, we both went through it for some time, but by the time I got back to him, he was certainly in a better spot.
We'll go to Dominic, then to Tom.
And we never talked about it.
Oh, you never have?
No. Nope. Not once.
You don't know why you called before?
No.
Dominic Ottagona with the Racing Experts. Long after the driving days are over, what are you going to remember most about this victory?
It's kind of split. It's half of it is the drive through the field. The other half is like the family being able to be here when they weren't here for 60. We were driving in the track earlier today, and it was like, man, I don't remember this, I don't remember that. And I was like, yeah, it's been like years since y'all been at the racetrack. It's in Vegas, kids can only do so much and whatnot. So I just, it was cool for them to get to experience my latest win. And we had some friends and other family here this weekend as well. So driving them around the race car on the front stretch was awesome. I probably will remember the drive through the field.
Tom, and then right next to him.
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. Danny, let me just say for the record in front of God and everybody, I lost my father during the Christmas holidays a long time ago, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
As far as this week goes, Gail was in here and mentioning how the finish at Phoenix ate him up for like 3 days last week. Did you have to play any conversations with him at all leading up to today?
No, I mean, we didn't talk about it. Phoenix, I mean, if we did, it was like 15 seconds of, and I think he might have like, here's where, and I just said, I don't care, it's fine. And like, I don't need, any reasoning, I'm with you. Same thing when Gabe Hart stuck a 10-inch piece of tape on the front grill to try to, and blew the engine when I'm charging to the front. Like, it's fine. You're going for it. It didn't work out, right? So I don't need any explanation. We're going to win and lose together, and it has been an absolute pleasure to work with Chris Gale for these 7 wins over the course of these 40 races or so. He's just a great guy and so underrated in what he does, and I'm glad he's getting the wins now that he deserves.
Mitchell Brewer, Black Hat Sports. Denny, you mentioned coming into the day you thought that you had a good chance of winning. You come out, you have a really good, solid day in addition to getting the win. What's it mean to have a day like that this early in the season, and how can you build off of that for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I've had seasons where I went winless until like the end of the season or midpoint. I can tell you it's just so much better when you win early. It is. And especially with the new point system, I think that every driver is now looking at the points to see where you're at in the regular season. And I think that, NASCAR just did an amazing job overhauling that to make us understand and really feel like this is a big reward for us to go out here and win. And when you have the tough days, it's pretty crushing. When you leave Daytona 500 finishing 31st, and I'm looking back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm already a race behind. It certainly puts the panic back in you. So it's great to win early. It gets us some momentum, but realistically, I look at all these, from last week to the next 6 weeks, it's like, okay, we got a bazillion wins at all these racetracks. I expect to win multiple in this group of races. And if we don't, that's where I get concerned. Is if we come here and we lay an egg, we don't finish well, I'm concerned because there's other we're all going to have these weeks where we're going to have mechanical failures or wrecks and things like that. And if you want to win the regular season or be part of the championship picture when they reset it for the chase, all these 26 weeks count. So I'm certainly feeling better about the start of my season now.
We'll go to Kelly, and then Nicole, and then we'll wrap in the back.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Denny, one more thing on Chris, and I don't mean to beat this dead horse, but this is really the first time that we've heard his side of how he felt after last year, right? Like, we've spoken so much to you. You've been open about it. You said there you two have not talked about Phoenix. And obviously you had so much other stuff going on that, that's what kept you away from if you guys were even going to talk about it. Was there not a part of you, I mean, how does his call from instead of 2 tires and going for 4, how do you, like in that situation, not hold that against him and, ruin that relationship?
Well, it's because when he called it and I looked at the code, I said, okay, sounds good. I believed in it too. So I would have been just as guilty. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was going, oh shit, are you sure? Because if I would have thought that it was the absolute wrong call, I would have said, are you sure? I would have said, I think track position means the most. But I mean, damn, we dominated the race. Every restart, we were blown by everybody. I can't speak to what the war room thought or he thought or whatever. I certainly was surprised to see freaking 9 or guys stay out or take 2 and put themselves right in the middle of the championship battle. I couldn't believe all those cars stayed out there, but they did, and it's only the wrong call because if 1 or 2 extra cars stay out. If one or 2 don't, I'm right where I need to be. If Larson's not right behind a teammate, does it get through as easy? We'll never know, but those are the ifs and buts, and just can't live in that world. That's why I didn't even want to talk about it, because you can't change it. So there's not one person on that Tuesday in that awards ceremony that didn't think that I was good enough to be a champion on that day. I just didn't take home the trophy.
The second thing I wanted to ask, winning this race today, you came over the radio afterward and said something to the effect of "Old dog can still hunt." What kind of a race like today is a feather in your cap of just the way it was done? Again, continuing to win at your age with this race team, and just where this race kind of again will stack up in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because it's gratifying because I saw like the legendary Mount Rushmore guys. I've raced against them. You know, I think probably at least two on the Mount Rushmore I got to race against and know how good they are. And I also saw at the end of their career when they got my age, the performance changed for whatever reason. I think Kevin Harvick is kind of the one that sticks out. That's like, yeah, but you know, he was still doing it at this level at this age, and I don't know when he stopped winning. Maybe 46 or ish, 47. I'm not really sure, but that was like motivation to me that okay, it's possible, and not everyone ages the same. Not everyone's eyesight's the same, reactions the same at the same age, but that gave me hope that like, you know, I think that I can still do this. But I mean, I can tell you, there are Mondays and Tuesdays where I'm like, I'm over it. I don't know whether I just want to keep doing this grind over and over, and it happens after you have the failures at like Phoenix, where it's like, I spent all that time working and all that time studying, and I aced the test and failed. Like, that's where it was like discouraging. That was like, do I really want to do this again? And so days like today make you like, because last night I was grinding still. I was working hours and hours and hours after this practice was over to try to figure out how we can make our car better and communicating with the team on that. So it feels good when you get the cookie at the end.
All right, we'll go to Cole, and then all the way in the back, and then we're going to wrap right here with Jeff.
Cole Cusimano, Speed Freaks, and AZ Central. Congrats, Denny. You had a really cool moment after the race where you took the kids in the car, went to victory lane. Just curious to hear the importance of being able to have those moments at the time in your career, and also just the fact that they got to witness you go into number 10 on the all-time wins list, and just to kind of like comprehend that their dad's that good, like an all-time great.
Yeah, it's awesome, and you know, there was only one other time that I think Taylor got to ride in the car, and then NASCAR took the trophy from me about 5 hours later, if y'all remember. So hopefully we can make this one official and move on. But yeah, I think it was Molly's first time in the car. So they stepped in there and were like, whoa, it's hot in here. I'm like, yeah, welcome to my world. So it's a good reality check that it's not all nice and cozy inside that car. But it's good because I talked about it earlier. Like they weren't here for 60. You know, they're at home. Yeah, you get a little FaceTime for about 10 seconds, and it's like, all right, I got to go do more pictures or whatever media. So it's just it's cool when they get to see it and feel it, because it's something that they'll, you know, remember for a long time.
Go ahead.
46, 22 at Richmond.
Hmm?
It was in 22 at Richmond. He was 46 last week.
Hourglass is running out.
Go ahead.
Brian Twining, Bleacher Nation for Best Sports Media. Denny, with your win today, you've jumped to fourth in the standings, 78 points behind Tyler for the lead. Have you as a team or you individually looked at the season and kind of planned out like an average points day that you need to accrue throughout the year?
No, not really. I just look at the schedule and say, I expect to win at these tracks. I hope to run good at these tracks. I need to not wreck at these. Like, that's how I look at it. There's not really one point thing. I do set goals before the race. Those goals change with every caution. I shift the goalpost. When I go to the back at the end of stage one, I'm like, all right, well, that sucks. I just screwed this up. So now let's figure out a way to get to the top five. Might have to take strategy or something. But I realized pretty early after that restart that, as fast as we were, that we still had a chance. But yeah, this is it's hugely gratifying, and it's something that I don't know. It just makes me feel good about what I do.
Go ahead, Jeff.
You've now won as many times, almost as many times in your last 7+ years as you did in the first 13 years. So in the first 13 years, you had 31 of your wins. Now you've won 30 times since the start of 2019. Why have you won so much more later in your career?
Well, I think that data and analytics played probably a role in that. I'm a very analytical person. I'm a very structured person. And what data and analytics allowed me to do is identify my weaknesses, and then allowed me to figure out how I'm going to shore up those weaknesses. So, before that, you're kind of just seat of your pants. And if you want to get better, you have to go over to Matt Kenseth's garage or Tony Stewart's garage. He's like, how are you driving turn 3? And when we started sharing data and stuff like that, while it was negative because my information got out, it also was positive at some racetracks where I wasn't very good. So it was a double-edged sword. And so I think that I really embraced, okay, here's the tools I've got to identify my weaknesses. Now what am I going to do? Like, how can I fix them, and what do I need to work on that can give me the best results? And so that, I think, was the kind of the turning point in 2019.
All right, Denny, congratulations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.